Hi guys, we're just going to do a quick video today to show you how to change the chain on a chainsaw and also the bar while you're there as well. So it's pretty simple with a Stihl chainsaw. It literally is this one nut and a little screw in there. You can get these little spanners, screwdrivers, usually they come with the chainsaw, or you can buy them from any sort of Stihl or Husqvarna or whichever brand you're using. You can get them from the dealership or just online on eBay or wherever you'd like really. Basically, we're just going to undo this one knot here, and then we're going to knock the tension off the chain. This is the chain tensioner. And then once we've knocked that off a little bit, we'll continue to undo the nut. We can remove that, and then we can take the guard plate off. And then as you'll see, we're pretty much in there. There's not a lot to it, so you'll be able to sort of wiggle things out, but if you want, what I find is best is if you just knock the tension back a little bit and it gives you a bit more room to play with. So then your bar and chain should come off. It's pretty straightforward. Take your chain off, and there you go. Now, when I put the bars back on, I tend to flip them to get a nice even wear across the bar. Otherwise, you end up with areas which get more wear than others. So to put it back on, it's pretty much the same process. Even if you were changing it, it'd be exactly the same, but a new bar. And same again with the chain. Sometimes they can be a bit fiddly, a bit of a pain. You just have to work them out. They're never knotted, it's just that they go back on themselves. So you want to make sure your chain's on the right way. It's always going clockwise. So your sharp edge is heading to the front. The easiest way to do it is to put your chain on the bar first, especially with Stihl, and then pop it over the sprocket afterwards. And then we can go again and put our cover back on, just like that. Stick the nut back over. It was a good idea to have a bit of a clean in there as well. Make sure there's a little oil hole on the bar at the bottom, which I'll show you on the Husqvarna next. So once I've tightened it a little bit, I want to slacken it off just ever so slightly so the bar doesn't wobble, but it's not fully supported yet. And then we can tension up the chain, making sure that it falls within the little channels on the bar. And then what we want is the chain to be just tight enough so we can just pull it up a little bit, but not too much. So it doesn't come out of the slot, but just takes a bit of work to come up. So that's pretty decent. And then we're just going to notch that up and we're good to go. There's the chain and bar swapped on that Stihl. So we can move that over, move the Husqvarna over. It's pretty much the same process, apart from it's got two nuts instead, and your tensioner is still there, it's still your flathead screwdriver. So you want to untension it, knock the two nuts off. I've already undone them here. These ones are captive, so they don't fall off, which is great. The thing with Husqvarna as well, you just want to make sure that your chain brake is off, otherwise you'll have a terrible time trying to get this cover off, because the chain brake is actually built into the frame of the guard. So you will have a bad time if you try and take that off while that's on. Also, if you try and reset the chain brake while it's off, again, bad time. Pretty much the same process, apart from this time the clutch is attached to the engine. And the main body of the chainsaw. So your chain's already on tension because your tension is actually on the cover this time. So your bar should pretty much slide out and the chain should come with it. You might have to pull it back a bit and then sort of get a bit of work. There we go. Just depends what you've got. There's your chain and there's your bar again, and these are the oil holes that I was on about earlier. So you just want to make sure that they're clear. Just use a screwdriver, poke them through. Make sure your channels are clear. Just go along with a little flat-headed screwdriver. Just run down the edge. Usually you don't get much out of there. I've seen some pretty gnarly ones. Same process again with the chain. Just make sure it's nice and free. And not wrapped around itself. A couple of ways you can put the chain on. You can do it, slot it over the top like that, or you can put it on the bar first and then pull it up and tension it a little bit. I find this method of putting it on bar afterwards is a little bit easier with the Husqvarnas. So with the Stihls, you sort of tension it while you're doing it. You can try and get it in, whereas the tension, like I say, is on the Husqvarna, is on the casing. So you just want to get your casing all lined up there. You'll know it's not right because it won't really go in, and that's typically because of the tensioner. So just back that off and then pull your bar down a bit and it'll go in. As you can see there, we're pretty well on. A little bit of rocking, but once we screw that, it'll settle in. So you just want to get your little spanner, line your nuts up. Again, you don't want to do them up all the way because we want to get some tension on that bar, not too much again. We're going to rip the chain off. So we've got plenty of space to go out there. I did back it off quite a lot. These Husqvarna chains tend to be a little bit longer than they need to be, which is probably why the tensioner is so much longer as well. As you can see, pretty much there. Probably a little bit too tight, but it'll probably slacken up once we start to use it. We'll just knock it a little bit more. So there we are, we just give those a final notch up. Not too tight again, otherwise we'll just stop the chain moving completely and cause damage to this machine. They're safety nuts, so the chances of them falling out are very slim as long as they're actually done up. And that's it. So we can stick his cover back on and she is all done. Obviously it's important to try and work on a flat surface, but sometimes you're out in the field and you're up in a tree or wherever you are and you need to change a chain quickly. But it's the safest option is to get down and do it on a bench like this or even on the floor. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.